以上民合唱。南無阿弥陀仏。南無阿弥陀仏。南無阿弥陀仏。南無ナフス、南無ナフス、南無ナフス、南無ナフス。Good morning, everyone. Sorry that my voice is a little hoarse today, and thank you also for doing the Amida Kyo. We don't do that chant too much, but I thought we should probably put it into the cycle here and there. It's a little bit longer than Jusege, but it's a very important sutra chanting. You might have noticed that it repeats a lot, and that's because it's going through the different directions, and it's saying that there are these Buddhas here in the east, and there are these Buddhas in the south and in the west, and in the north, and in the zenith, and in the nadir, the up above and below. So that's what it's basically doing. So today, what I wanted to talk about was, let me show you another picture here, is the Onaijin. Okay, Onaijin. How many of you know what the Onaijin is? You guys know, right? Onaijin is when you enter the hondo, it's the main altar in the back area, I guess you could say, if you're entering from the front, okay? So this Onaijin, can you see this picture of the Onaijin? Okay, this is actually the Onaijin of Takoma Buddhist Temple, but I had a picture of this already, so I wanted to show you this. It's very similar to what we have in our hondo as well. So let's see, let's see, how do I do these pen things? Maika. Okay, so the middle here is the Gohonzong. As you know, it's Amida Buddha. Usually there's a statue, or maybe for us, it's a picture or scroll of Amida Buddha. And then there are these rays, these light rays that come out of the Buddha, okay? Do you know how many of those rays there are? Can someone guess? You can go ahead and unmute yourself and guess. Okay, there are 48 of these spokes or these rays, okay, 48, signifying the 48 vows that Amida Buddha established, okay? So that's one kind of interesting anecdote. Let's see, what else? These lamps right here, number 15, I don't know if you can see these numbers here, but these are called, number 15 is labeled Rinto. This is also a lamp. Number 13 is also a lamp as well. And then number 14 is called the yoraku. These are kind of like ornaments or adornments that kind of help to show the lavishness, the ornateness, how should I say, the fancy designs and that we put in the onaijin. Okay, so they're basically kind of like, like a Christmas tree, we put on like like different what is it, ornaments on there. It's kind of like that. If it was just a simple tree, it'd be very boring. But if you put all these like kazarimon, and we call it in Japanese, these nice ornaments on there, it makes it look very nice and very brilliant and bright, right? And so that's kind of what is being depicted here, okay, or being done here in the onaijin, okay? There is a candle here, number 7, and then a set of flowers, okay? And the candle is supposed to represent wisdom, and then the flowers is supposed to represent compassion, okay? But also the flowers also represent impermanence with the withering away of flowers, okay? So ideally, you're not supposed to use zoka, which is fake flowers, or, what is it, artificial flowers. You're supposed to use fresh flowers, but as much as you can, that would be recommended to do that. Okay, so now I'd like to show you the person on the very right here, immediate right to Amida Buddha, is number 2. What's number 2? I will show you another closer picture here. Can you see this? Okay, this is Shinran Shonin, okay, Shinran Shonin, the founder of Jodo Shinshu School of Buddhism, okay? This is a close-up picture, okay? So this is Shinran Shonin. Okay, then to the immediate left, there's a person that looks very similar to this. It's very easy to get confused between these two pictures. But this is Renyo Shonin, okay? Renyo Shonin is the 8th head priest of the Honganji. And the reason why he is very important was because at one point, the Honganji got really, really small, and there weren't that many followers. But Renyo Shonin, with his charisma and character, was able to attract many followers, okay? And so that's why he's considered the second founder, quote unquote, second founder of Jodo Shinshu, okay? All right. And then on the far right, if you're looking at the Gohonzon, the far right is Shotoku Taishi, okay? Prince Shotoku, who was considered the founder of Buddhism in Japan. He brought in Japan and made it flourish throughout Japan, brought in Buddhism into Japan and made it flourish. So in other schools of Buddhism, they also respect Shotoku Taishi very much, Prince Shotoku, okay? This is another picture of him. A lot of people think he's a girl, but no, that is just the outfit and the hairstyle from back in the day. Okay, and then what he's holding is an incense holder. Okay, so he's holding an incense holder there. Okay, Prince Shotoku. And then on the far left are the 7 masters. Okay, 7 masters. And this on the top right, it goes from the top right. Okay, the top right is Nagarjuna. And in the top left is Vasubandhu. These are the 2 Indian Pure Land Masters, Indian Pure Land Masters. Okay, in the middle 3, and in this middle one right here is Tanluan. And then to the right here is Shandao, Zendo Daishi, Shandao. Okay, and then to the left here is Taocho. I know these names are very foreign, they sound very different, but just know that these middle 3 are the Chinese Pure Land Masters, okay? And then we go to the left here. I know the order is it seems kind of odd, but the order goes to the left on the very bottom row, and that's Genshin Kasho, okay? And to the right here is Honen Shonin or Genku Shonin, okay? He has 2 names, but Honen Shonin is how we usually call him here in America, okay? So and these bottom 2 are Japanese, okay? Japanese Pure Land Masters. So the top 2 are Indian, middle 3 are Chinese, and then the bottom 2 are Japanese. So one thing that is commonly said is that Buddhism is a religion of translation, And it's, as it goes from country to country, it changes and has to adapt in its language, right? So it goes from Pali and Sanskrit to Chinese, to then Japanese, and now here to English, okay? So it is always a religion of translation. Okay, I hope I think I showed you all the pictures here, yes. Okay, so I hope that was helpful. That was kind of an introduction of the Onaijin and all the different things in the Onaijin. This Obutsudan is the same thing of the Onaijin and the Hondo. It's just a smaller version, an abbreviated version, okay? A smaller, more compact version of the Onaijin and the Hondo. So ideally in every home, we would like to have an Obutsudan, and we put it in like a living room or somewhere where where the family gathers to show that the Buddha is there with you at all times, okay? And that's why and then ideally every morning we should go at Almighty, just do gassho, and then we go off to work or school, right? When we come home, when we go to bed, gassho, and then go to bed, right? That is kind of the tradition that was done in Japan. Okay, so hopefully maybe we could revive the Obutsudan tradition here in America. That would be great. Because unfortunately it's kind of the tradition is kind of been dying out. Okay. But, okay, so are there any questions by the Dharma School particularly, or maybe anybody actually in general about the Obutsudan, or maybe some kind of customs you're kind of wondering about? Why do I've seen Buddhist families do this, but do we do that? 例えばですね, or for example, we do not. I would like to show you this. Give me 1 second. I think you've seen this done a couple times, right? People stand the incense in the incense burner. That's okay, but we don't do that, okay? And the only reason why we don't do that is a very practical reason. It's that when these, the ash fell out, sometimes it fell out of the burner, and it would cause fires. And so in order to kind of stop that, we just said to set it down sideways down into the incense burner. But so we, as a custom, we do not stand them up in the incense burner. Okay, that's one thing.
Since I have a question.
Yeah.
About placement of the flowers. My mother always put the flowers in front of the butsudan instead of inside.
Okay, yeah. So sometimes obutsudan, just like the onaijin, there are many different setups, and sometimes it's too small, or the vase is too big, or it doesn't sit in right, or it doesn't fit in right. So it's possible to put it outside of the obutsudan. That's okay. Yeah.
Same with the candle.
Yeah, same with the candle too as well. Yeah. Yes. Okay. And then usually for the obutsudan, we say no thorns and no vines. Okay. And so no roses in the obutsudan. Yeah, yeah. Usually it would be like kiku or what's a kiku? Mums. These kinds of flowers would be, yeah, great. Or the wisteria flower, right? That was on last week's obutsudan, right? Mitsuko-san put that in the obutsudan too. It's a very beautiful flower. Okay. So the fruits for offering, usually you want to wash them and then take the stickers off. There's like, it usually has a sticker label on there. You want to take that off. And then usually you want it to have like the robust kind of fruits. So nice and full size, not kind of withering or dying, or, knots or bruises in it or anything like that. Okay. So, and this is, so why do we do this then? We do this because we want to show our respect towards the Buddha, towards the reality of infinite wisdom and compassion, right? That we are embraced within this truth. And when we do that, we treat the Buddha as if it is a living Buddha, okay? As if it is a living Buddha. So that's why when I raise up the obupan, I raise it up above my head, I try to, or, if it's flowers, we use like the nice flowers, right? Or if the rice, it's the fresh batch of rice, right? That is the first batch of rice that comes out, right? Before we serve anybody else, we serve the Buddha, ideally, okay. Okay, are there any other questions?
Sensei, this is Kyle.
Yeah.
Before I was married, I had a small obutsudan.
Yeah.
It was just the name or the picture of the Amida Buddha.
Yeah.
Is that okay, or
Yeah, absolutely. That's also a obutsudan. Yeah. So really, I mean, if Shinran Shonin were alive, he would not want to be in the obutsudan, right? Because it's all about Amida Buddha for Shinran Shonin. And so technically speaking, have you ever been to the Berkeley Temple? The Berkeley Temple only has the Gohonzo picture of, or a statue of Amida Buddha. So that, in its if I say bare bones, that's kind of not the correct word, but the simplified version of just Amida Buddha is sufficient as well. Okay, we have these scrolls as a reminder to us who has passed down the tradition to us, the Nimbutsu teaching throughout the generations and throughout the different countries of Asia, right, down to us, right? And it's to show us the honest of how this tradition has been able to be passed down throughout the generations to us. And so we respect and give praise to the different figures in the obutsudan or the onaijin.
Okay, Sensei.
Yeah, Kathy.
Yeah. I just learned that this week that we have obutsudans that were donated that Larry has that he sells at the bazaar. So but he does have them available, so if people want to know.
Great, that's great. Yeah. Thank you very much. Yeah, it would be great if we could keep those in-house. Or
This is Terry Sato.
Oh, okay.
My question is, when we do the obupan, how long are we supposed to leave it at the altar?
That's
it's
a
so
good question.
finite to have to throw away dried rice.
Yeah. So that is up to you, how you would like to do that. If you want to serve the rice, serve the rice, and then do gasho omairi, and then you could sage, take down the rice, and then use the rice as well. So that's the other way to do it too. Yeah. So that's not being rude or anything like that. Yeah, or being disrespectful. Not at all. Yeah.
Sensei,
Yeah, Nancy. Hi.
I have a question. I don't know if you can see. This is the powdered or whatever. This incense. Can you see? You know.
Yes. Yeah. The grounded incense.
Yeah,
Yes.
and then there's the
stick
regular
version.
incense. Now, I want to know because my mother, you know, she expressly asked me to buy the, you know, the, I don't know, granular incense, you
Okay.
know, she, and I was just wondering, you know, like what, you know, I'm not exactly sure, like what significance, or you know, if you could explain like the difference, or you know.
Yeah, there are different kinds of incense, but they're one isn't better than the other or anything like that. In terms of like the versions, like the I don't know if granular is the right word, but the grounded incense one versus the stick incense, it's the same. Yeah. The only reason why it's grounded is because we take like a pinch of it and then put it onto the coal, and so it's just kind of easier access kind of. And so it's just a different version of incense.
But
Yeah.
this, I'm kind of confused. Like, what is this comprised of? I mean, I'm just curious because
Yeah.
do you know, or is that?
I do not know. Sorry, I don't want to give you wrong information. Yeah. But yeah, it's I think you could make incense. I've had a ministry assistant in Tacoma make incense, and so I think there's a few different ingredients. But based on the rarity of those ingredients, now there's a difference in how much they cost, right? And so there's very refined incense that can be very expensive, and then there's your cheap kind of everyday economical incense that we use every day. Yeah.
Because I know this was quite expensive.
Oh.
You know, you know, and I'm going, not that, you know, I was just shocked.
Yeah.
You know,
It's pretty, the range is pretty big of how expensive it can be. Yeah. The Honganji has a Honganji blend, they call it, the Honganji mix. And that's like, wow, it smells really, really nice. It's very fragrant. There's like almost like this cinnamon type of smell to it. And it's, yeah, so there's all kinds of different kinds of versions of incense. So yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Sure, yeah. Are there any other questions?
Do we sell?
One more thing. One more thing about the obutsudan is try not to put anything on top of the obutsudan. I know this obutsudan is huge, so there's you're not really gonna put anything on top of that. But like sometimes we have obutsudan and people put like their wallet and the keys and stuff on there. Yeah, nothing goes on top of the Buddha. On top of the Buddha's head. For example, the Jodo Shinshu Center, when they were first drawing it out, the blueprints. They were going to put the bathroom on top of the Onaijin on another floor, and then I think it was a medicine or someone said we shouldn't do that because the bathroom of all things is being placed on top of the head of the Buddha. So it's just a sign of kind of respect, kind of. We should try not to put anything on top of the obutsudan if possible. Yeah.